remember. But here we are,
I'm pretty sure. Otherwise, it's going to be an embarrassing title.
right?
I already chose that.
Let's see if we're up here. Oh, there we are. Look at that. Let's turn that down.
Sounds good.
Sounds good. So, yes, 2024, and it is allocation season. Stuff is dropping very quickly and in pretty good quantities. It's a good sign to see that distilling rates seem to be up or going up or
Yeah.
whatever. But I mean, cellar age, I was lucky enough to grab a few of them this year. Whereas last year, we had to go all the way to the distillery and camp in the truck to get. So,
Yes, I think Tim is in the chat. Has likely heard a couple times that story of some people would say is crazy to get a bottle of whiskey, but I mean, with the way secondary went, you're either paying with your time or paying with your money,
yeah.
and we had a pretty good time.
Yeah, that was definitely an interesting. There's more stories to tell about that night, but it was an interesting night. We met some cool people, some interesting people. So Tim's had long time no talk. Tim may be coming over shortly. We don't know
Oh,
yet. So if you hear somebody upstairs, it's not a masher. It's just him coming to steal our
could
whiskey.
could that sounds
Right?
worse.
Yeah, right. Tim, when you come in the front door, turn left, go into the family room, middle drawer. That's where the Glencairns are. Um, but yeah, tonight we're comparing Maker's Mark Cellar Age 2023 edition to Maker's Mark Cellar Age 2024 edition. There are some notable differences, and there's a lot of controversies out there on what people are thinking about 2024. I wish I. It's like kind of getting spoiled for a movie. I kind of wish I didn't see that because it kind of puts it in your head what to expect. So
Sure.
I'm not going to tell you anything. Unfortunately, I know what people are saying about it.
I
Um,
have gotten enough of a vibe that people, it seems, are not a fan.
yeah, they're not as much a fan of this one as they are the 23. Okay.
And the 23 was the thing with the cellar aged is I don't I kind of it's a bit of a coward move in my opinion, and I like Maker's Mark and they make a lot of nice things, but to finally get that over 10-year age statement while the aging's done in the cellar where there's not as many temperature changes feels a little cheap. I don't know. They're not. Is the 2024, was that still at like 150 MSRP, or did they go up with the price? Because it is another year on the barrels.
This was 175.
Okay.
So yeah, not too crazy. After tax, I think it was like 184, something like that.
Yeah.
185. Um, we'll see if it's worth it, right? Only, we won't be able to tell until we crack it. Um, but it was cool when I went. So I woke up. It was like 8:30 in the morning. Stores drop at 9, and I saw someone texted like, "Hey, I could see this in the store. It's dropping." I'm like, oh, "I wonder if it's at Newtown." He's like, "I'm at Newtown." So I've never moved so fast in my life. I got up out of bed. I flew. I threw on whatever clothes I found. And I got there, and we were the only two there. And we were lucky enough. We actually got the pamphlets with it. So this is a whole booklet. It tells you everything about it. I'm not going to read you everything. I don't even know if you could see it, but there's just a lot of information in there about the cellar age. Really, really cool. You could probably look it up online
Yeah.
to see what it says. But yeah, that's the pamphlet for the 2024 release. Um, I'm about ready to have a pour. What about you?
Yeah.
Should we
Yeah.
start with the 23, I
I
guess?
think that makes
It's
sense.
probably a smart move. So let's put Mr. 2024 off to the side over here. This is actually Frank's bottle, so he will do the honors of pouring this one. I forget off the top of my head. While you're pouring, I'll read. The 2023 release is 13% whiskey, 11 years aged, and 87% whiskey, 12 years aged. And it is 115.7
Nice
proof.
pour for you.
Wow. Look at that. Unaged Maker's Mark. It's clear. Excited to see the
I gotta
review.
make sure I don't skip. Yeah.
Right? No skimping allowed.
That
Tim
was
said he's
pretty
excited to see the review. Tim, you could be a part of the review. You live 15 minutes away. Let's go. As long as you don't hit anything, you're good.
consider. Well, I guess we should just keep things straight. This is 115.7 proof. And this is a blend. It's 13% 11-year whiskey and 87% 12-year.
Tim said, "Frank, don't be skimping.
Don't be stingy.
Stingy.
It's the classic. It's a classic joke.
Yep.
Break out the nice whiskey and give him not even enough for a mouse.
Has that real nice, I don't know, it's like a cherry, I guess.
Sure, yeah.
I always got that kind of like sour cherry from the cellar age. Nose has definitely evolved since it's been open, though. It's different from what I remember it. Wow, you're like below half a bottle there, Frank. That's scary.
I know.
Sad to see him go, right?
Yeah, I like the cellar age, but since we cracked it, it's just kind of like I don't know, if I can think of a reason to drink it, I drink it.
Yeah,
that's pretty much how it goes.
Yeah, if you're in the mood for something different, it's a unique pour for sure, you know. Has a really nice, has a sharp nose to it. It actually has kind of like a spice nose, which wheat you'd think is going to be softer and sweeter, but this actually has a real nice spice to it.
I'm getting like raisin marshmallows.
I'm getting like cinnamon apple. Like a cinnamon apple pie.
Yeah, I see it.
Really nice. So again, those who just joined in, this is the 2023 release. We will be drinking the 2024 release very shortly here, so make sure you stick around to see the review live. Don't listen to all them people out there on YouTube. You're going to get a good, honest review on the 2024 next. No cutting, no editing, just straight what we think.
Yeah.
No representative from Maker's Mark standing over here pointing a gun at us, right? We're just true statements only here.
Yes.
Yeah. Cheers. Let me add, we have our first hot tub viewer. Somebody's watching us live from his hot tub.
Nice.
Pretty cool. It's a good night for a hot tub. Very chewable whiskey. I always liked how the cellar age. You know, it's really got a really thick, viscous feel. I don't know, dry. There's like some kind of dry note in there.
Yeah, that's
dry and sweet at the same time.
First sip dry is the main note, but you're right that it's coating the mouth very nice. The flavor is lingering a bit.
Get that like vanilla cupcake in there too. Not like the frosting, like the actual cupcake itself. Kind of got that. And maybe that's like the wheat, the grainy, the bready notes, whatever. Yeah, the person who's in their hot tub says, "I know they're jelly. I know we're jelly." Maybe we got to do Whiskey Bible live from the hot tub.
Whiskey Bible hot tub streams.
Yeah, that'd be crazy. We definitely get a unique audience out of that.
Yeah, I bet. that'll be on the that'll be a paid. We'll start a Patreon.
Right.
You can pay money. You can get the hot tub streams.
Nice. I'm not cheap. I'm expensive. Hopefully they can afford me. Not a sip of whiskey. It's getting crazy already. It's already melting down. Ooh. Ooh. Oh, man. Oh, yeah. That's how you get... Wow. Whiskey in the eye. It's like dropping acid, but... It's great pour. You know, if you ever had Maker's Cask Strength, this tastes like Maker's Cask Strength. It's just aged longer. You know, it's like
Yeah.
I believe we did an episode age versus proof. This is age and proof put together. You know, and I think they did a fairly well job with it. It's good. I don't know how. Like, how did I know you mentioned something when we first bought this about them saying it's aged longer, but it's really aged in a cellar that's 50 degrees,
Yeah.
right? Like, how's that work? Is it really not aged as long? Are you still getting, is it like a Scotch aging because it's cooler?
So that is another thing, right? So Scotland is so much further north than, I mean, especially Kentucky, but a lot of the United States. And so with the Scotch, you see those longer age statements because there's not as violent temperature changes. Um, yeah, it's interesting, with the cellar. That's kind of how I look at it. Is that they're probably not getting as much age. You could then kind of, if you were really sneaky, you could say that you're like getting a more exact age, like a more exact flavor. Like if you thought that your whiskey was perfect at like 7.5 years, then at 6 years you throw it in the cellar and you leave it at 5, and you can really nail down an exact kind of age that you want for it.
Um, Tim said, "Do you know approximately how many barrels they age in the cellar each year?" Actually, yes, I have the answer to that. So right on the back of this form here,
Like
there's
you
all the
want to count
barrels
them?
right there. Yeah, there they all are
That
right
many.
there. That many right there.
Do they have an
If you can
actual
count them.
number written?
I don't think they do. No, they just got a bunch of different barrels.
And then do they say how deep those rows go?
No,
No.
no,
I
no.
mean, from being in there at least 100,
Looks like four aged
potentially a
well.
thousand.
Looks like there was 12 barrels. That can't be right, right? Because there's so many bottles. There's so many bottles. I don't know. I can't read it. It's in like
You want
French.
me to?
I don't know.
Let
It
me.
just
I want
says.
to take a look.
See, it says there's the barrels there, but it doesn't make sense that it would only be 4 barrels because there's like 30,000 bottles of this out there. Yes, Tim, we're very fancy. It was very cool getting this. Hats off to the wine and spirits guy who was working. If he's watching this, I didn't even know this was a thing. He's just like, "This came with the bottles. Do you want this?" I was just gonna throw it out. The nose on this is really good. It really opens up once you put it in a glass and it gets some air. It really opens up. Very rich. See any
Uh,
information there? I don't think it says much other than just dates in
yeah, I
different
mean, it tells you
warehouses.
the warehouses they're from, but it only lists 4 barrels.
Maybe that's just this batch. Maybe there's like different yields. I don't know. Maybe it is only 4 barrels, but I mean, I doubt it because that would only be like maybe 800 bottles at most, and there's way more than that. I mean,
Right.
there's 6 alone in this house, you know.
So I am seeing Maker's Mark is aged to taste. Um, we use the Maker's Mark limestone cellar to age the bourbon for an additional 5 to 6 years after the standard 6 year maturing in our traditional rickhouses. This slows down the tannic impact that occurs during maturation while allowing the barrel to develop complexities and deeper, darker flavor characteristics.
Yeah, Maker's Mark is known. They're always moving barrels around. They actually rotate their barrels. They're one of the only, if not the only, distillery left in the world that does it. Just seems like a lot of extra work for me, you know.
Yeah,
Especially if you're like if you get hired as one of those barrel rotating guys, it just never stops. 9 hours a day you're moving barrels around. Especially imagine when it's summer and it's like 110 degrees in them brick houses.
I will say, I mean, you thought the same as I did. Those BRTs were good.
They were really good.
So that's so much of whiskey making is like, is it just like some crazy theory, or is it actually having an effect? And there's some like with the cellar age thing, they seem to think that a lot of like sour or off-putting notes that can come from spending too much time in the barrel, they think they're not getting as much of that by keeping it in the cellar.
Yeah, I think they're
But maybe like
close to being right. It's
let more
rich.
flavor in, but not like oak it out, right? Because that's with the age versus proof. We talked about getting a lot of oak notes on that 18 year,
Oh yeah.
and this maybe it's there, but that's not oak is not what jumps out to me really.
No, it's definitely the creamier, sweeter vanillas and fruits.
What do you think? You want to finish this off?
Yeah, I think we can finish it off, and then it's time. Time has
The
come.
big event.
The big event. Hmm. Rinsing. This is the moment you've been waiting for, people. That's great. Finish is great. Finish is sweet. Fruity, vanilla-y. Toffee comes to mind. Tim says yes. The moment he's been waiting for. Love fresh cracks. Well, you got 15 minutes to get over here. Let's go. I'm trying to entice him. It isn't going to work.
Hard to get people out of the house this late at night.
Yep. Especially when you have kids, it gets really rough, you know? Really hard. Hey, 8:30, the kids are in bed. There's no excuses now. Well, maybe the wife. That could be an excuse, right? I know. 2023 is away. 2024 is in hand. Here it is. Cellar Age 2024 edition. MSRP. Got it from Pennsylvania Wine and Spirits. Beautiful bottle. Same bottle design. This one's 12 and 13 years old. This is like a year older. You got 15% 12-year whiskey, 85% 13-year whiskey, 119.3 proof. And little fun fact for you, in that pamphlet, it tells you the bottling date. And this whiskey was bottled on Frank's birthday, May 13th.
My birthday bourbon.
Right? It's interesting that they bottled it that long ago, and I don't think it released until like September-ish, right?
Yeah.
But hey,
who knows?
They kept it in their warehouse for a while. But yeah, here it is. This is actually my first time cracking a Maker's Mark Cellar Aged. I've been mooching off of Frank's this whole time. But yeah, here it is. Let's see.
You're acting like it's my fault the bottle's below half.
I know. Definitely our favorite wax. Get a good wax job on here. But there it is. There's the trash. Maker Cellar Age. Imagine I opened a 2023 on accident.
Oh,
That would really
be
suck.
upset.
I would be sad. The video would probably end there. But here it is. Tim's favorite part.
We're up to 119 now on the proof.
Yes. Ooh, the cork smells very different. The cork almost smells piney. This is going to be interesting to go right into this out of the 2023. I'm interested to see how this shapes up. This will be really, really cool. Wow, I gave myself a little bit. There it is. I appreciate them using a real cork with this too. Synthetic corks are cool, but I don't know. Something like this I think needs a real cork. Pop. Right nose is very different.
I see that pine that you're saying. Because the other one was spice, but it was much more like cinnamon spice.
Yeah. Yeah, this one's more piney.
Like evergreen, maybe a little mint.
Again, that ethanol in there too. There's a little bit of ethanol coming through. But yeah, very more earthy characteristics, I would say. Smells good. I mean, I don't mind.
Yeah, there's still a bit of sweetness to it as well.
Hmm. Some kind of. When you really have to dig for it, though. What I can't think of the word I'm thinking of. Salty. What's the salty word I'm looking for?
I don't know.
Ugh, there's a word for salty, and I can't think of it. I'm brain farting. If you know what I'm talking about, comment it below. Otherwise, I'm going to go crazy. But like, I don't know what it is, but it's good.
For salt.
Yeah. Which nose is better? Tim's asking. Ah, that's hard.
This is nice. The 2023 had a little more sweeter and fruitier notes.
Yeah.
I think, but I don't think this one is bad. I think I like the 2023 nose a little more.
I think this one's just stronger because it's it's a neck pour.
There's that, yeah.
I think once this dies down, I think it might be very close. There's a really nice spearmint. I don't know, Rob. It's just a thing with me. Synthetic corks are great because they don't dry up. You know, I love synthetic corks are awesome. Buffalo Trace switched to them, on like the regular Buffalo Trace or their Eagleware bottles. But a bottle like this, I don't know. The real cork, I just feel like I'm more classy. I don't know.
It feels a little more traditional.
Yep.
Right. I guess there's kind of a back and forth of. Especially with companies like Maker's Mark, where there's a feel of history to the company and to the brand, that the cork locks in a little more. It doesn't. It's a little mumbo jumbo silly. Like it's not actually a big deal, but sometimes it's just a nice aesthetic.
Well, let's get a cheers. Let's get a taste. I'm excited to taste this. Let's see if it was worth buying backups of. Okay. Definitely more oak than the 2023.
Yeah. Hmm. It was sweet on the palate.
Then the finish was
The
like
finish is sandpaper.
right.
Yeah, because I had it in my mouth and I'm like, wow, that's actually really sweet. More so than the 23. That finish, oof.
The finish was rough,
And not in a proof way, but like just such a dry oak.
it was that same what I was picking up on the nose when I said salty. It was almost briny to me. I don't know. It's just like really, I don't know. It tastes like salt water kind of.
Yeah, I want to get my full sips in and make sure that I'm tasting what I'm tasting. But that finish was not the greatest. Just like dry. Neck pours can be tough. Yeah, I mean it's hard to say, right?
Oh, it's so weird because the nose is so I really like the nose, and like you said, I really like the palate, but that finish was.
I would say the nose is pretty honest with regards to the palate. Like I feel like that kind of piney and slight mint was there. And then there was a nice vanilla. Like it was pretty jam packed. Like the palate was like vanilla honey to me.
Yeah.
And then it just went away on the finish. I don't know what happened there. And the mouthfeel kind of died.
Yeah, it went away very, very quickly. We'll have to see what the second sip does. That was quite crazy. I don't know if I've specifically had a whiskey where that's happened before, where the nose and palate were so good, and then it just like it was like this, right? It was like this, and then it just went, phew, it just dropped.
Yeah, it wasn't, well, you'll know what I'm thinking of, but we've had some whiskeys where that finish hits like a truck.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
that we did not like. This it's not even that it's a bad flavor, it's really the mouthfeel for me.
Let's see. Second, we gotta get another sip in here. We gotta relive this. Cheers. It's got a little more air now. Let's see what happens. Okay. A little more on the second sip. A little more. I don't know. I'm getting those really rich, I would almost call them like maple chocolate characteristics out of it. The finish was definitely longer on the second sip.
Yes.
Wasn't as offensive. I think it was more of just a palate shocker.
It could be, yeah.
Let me get a little water action here. Not in my whiskey because that would be
Yeah,
sacrilegious.
that's what it's not that it's the finish, it's not that it's necessarily bad flavors, but it just feels like my tongue is shriveling up
Right.
on that finish. That like the 2023 was coating the mouth really nicely, and it felt like it was moisturizing almost. And this is the opposite. It feels like it's just drying out my mouth.
It gets kind of like real bitter towards the end.
Yeah, and it's funny because that's the sort of thing that, they said in the pamphlet. They're like, we think that the cold aging helps reduce the tannic effects. Usually, like tannins are kind of like bitter notes.
Yeah.
So that's weird
That you really got it from this
that
one.
that it's coming through so strongly when they on the packaging seem to say that they wouldn't think that would come through as much.
I mean, everything else about it's great though.
Yeah, it's just a strange finish. It's one of those, I don't want to say it's a bad finish.
It's different.
Yeah.
Different's a good word for it. I don't know. You have to experience it really. It's unlike anything I've ever had before. I don't know.
I haven't had anything else with a finish like that.
Quite like this, and I think that's what's throwing people off because I think a lot of people say in other videos that the finish is what turns them off of this whiskey.
I mean, that's the big. It's one of those things where, with so many things, whiskey, or any other food or drink, different is sometimes bad to the brain, even if it's actually good long term. Like, I mean, anybody here who likes whiskey, there was probably a point, especially early on, right? You go to a party or something and somebody buys whiskey and they buy the $8 bottle. And you drink it.
Not Benchmark.
Not Benchmark.
Bankers Club.
Yeah, Bankers. That was one. Yeah, somebody got him. They said, "Oh, he likes whiskey. I'll get him a bottle of whiskey." He got me Bankers, and the gesture was appreciated, and I think that they tried to get me something. They said, "Oh, I'll get him whiskey because I know he likes whiskey." So that was nice, but the whiskey was not. And but over time, you start to learn, you can start to appreciate an oak note in whiskeys. You can start to appreciate, even for me, like trying more whiskey with more malt and starting to kind of get why people like that flavor and start to appreciate it and understand it.
This is definitely...
that's the optimistic approach.
Yeah.
That is the honestly, from your reference earlier, specifically mentioning the maker's representative with the gun probably would have got you shot.
Right.
But that's kind of as close to the benefit of the doubt for Maker's Mark is maybe over time this will grow on us. Because it has for so many other things.
And I always like having bottles like this in my collection because it's good to have something different every now and again. I can definitely see myself drinking this in the future. More so, and I'm interested to see how the bottle evolves as it gets lower and you drink more and more and more of it.
Maybe at some point we'll have to do like a recap episode, and we'll look at some of our opinions that we've shared on different releases, and we'll say, we'll try them again.
Yeah.
I don't want to say end of year because it's so close, but maybe sometime January, February, we look at some of the releases we reviewed and we say, oh, is this still, a month or two later, do we still like it?
Maybe good, because sometimes it gets worse, sometimes it gets better. You never know.
Well, because I think the main thing that's standing out to me, that I kind of hinted at to you, the last whiskey I remember us trying that had a weird finish was Rowan's Creek.
Yeah.
And we tried it, and the first time we had it, I was like, I don't know if I like it. I don't think I like it, but at least it's different. Uh, and I think later on we tried it again, and it just was like, no, okay, this is not for me. I think my final sip will probably kind of solidify, at least for tonight, my opinion of whether I think this is doomed to the same fate for us.
Right.
That Rowan's Creek hit.
I don't think it's as bad as Rowan's Creek. We'll see.
No.
It's pretty hard to be worse than that. But yeah, here you go. Hopefully somebody's drinking along with us here with this Cellar Age. Cheers. You know what? The finish is very... Wow. Okay. What's weird about this whiskey is it doesn't really have a Maker's Mark taste to me.
No.
It's different. Like the first Cellar Age had like that classic like Maker's Mark, like you can taste that good, limestone bread's richness. This kind of tastes like it's its own thing. I don't know what it tastes like. It almost tastes kind of like their neighboring distiller, like almost like Yellowstone. I don't know. It's weird. It definitely has. It tastes like it's a whole different mash bill, but it's not. Can I see that pamphlet real quick, Frank?
Yeah.
I think the mash bill is actually in here. 70% corn, 16% soft red winter wheat, and 14% malted barley. I don't know. I'm assuming that's their classic mash bill for everything they do, but it just tastes different. I kind of like it.
I will the bitterness and off-putting of the finish was, I didn't really notice it on this third sip.
Yeah.
I kind of adjusted to it.
Yes, you get used to it. I think the big thing is it worth that $175 mark? I wish it was cheaper. I wish it was more like 100 to 125 would be like really great. Maybe 150 like last year. I don't mind as much paying more every year because that's just the world we live in, right? Everything's increasing in price. Everything's going to go up.
Well, and it's even if they maintain, right, if next year is 13 and 14 year, right? I mean, for the most, I think the price here is you're paying for the age.
Yeah. Paying for that extra year.
So, I mean, something like, the Elijah Craig barrel proof releases, if those were getting more every year, that would be a little annoying.
Yeah.
But this, if you're actually aging it more, then I can't really get mad at the price increase. I don't know if the flavor was worth it.
Okay. Yeah, it was... I don't know. It's so hard.
It's a shame, though, because the palate is really nice.
It is. I'm interested here. All right? We are going to be a little sacrilegious, all right? I'm just interested. I'm going to pour a little bit more.
You want to water it down?
I want to put a little bit of water into it. Not a lot. I just want to see if that'll change it up and open it up a little bit. Literally, I'm just going to give us like just like the littlest bit for like a little bit of water. Here, allow me.
Is this your attempt to kind of simulate, maybe a month or two just sitting in the bottle?
Maybe, yeah, that's what I'm trying to go for. I'm not going to add a whole cap because there's not a lot here. Just like,
I'm just gonna eyeball it.
boop. That's good. Rock it in there. Let's just see if this changes at all.
Yeah, it's difficult to tell when I get a note that either I don't recognize or I don't like. I think part of getting into whiskey is trying to really give those notes a chance.
It really opened up a sweet kind of pear note to it. Tim says this is worth $175 plus. So he's happy with the MSRP.
I don't think I'm not that upset at 175.
No, because you look at like Michter's 10-year, right? They're like $200, and that's only 10 years.
Yeah.
And not barrel proof. It's like 94.6, I think. Something like that.
Regrettably, though, some of the Michter's 10-year might be better than this.
Oh yeah, I think so too. I mean, I just love their stuff. Michter's is great.
Right. So there's that. I agree with you a little bit, but I don't.
But there might be people on the other side of things. We're lucky our palates match up. Oh, he said no. I wasn't referring that it goes for 175 and up. Okay. Cheers.
I don't know.
Cheers, cheers, cheers. Let's see what Maker's Mark Cellar's 24 is with a little bit of water. I really like how they did the red wax on this one. That's very original. Cheers. Yeah, I like it better without the water.
For me at least, you killed all of the flavor from that palate that I was getting.
Yeah, it's gone. Yeah, that was not a wise idea. That was definitely an experiment that you got to experience live on camera, but that just killed the flavor and just kept that sandpaper note at the end there. It was just like all sandpaper.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. Point. It was just all finished. There was none of the sweetness or the mint or the spice. It all was gone.
Don't do that. I feel bad for people who drink with ice because you're never gonna enjoy this.
Yeah,
whiskey.
maybe. Yeah, I was gonna say maybe that's the problem. Some people are having this on the rocks.
Tim said Frank is not a fan of that one.
I made it very clear. I took the second it hit my tongue, I was like, oh no.
Yeah, that's why I'm like, okay.
It's not bad. Like there was never a point where I was like, I want to spit it out or anything.
It's just
that
nuked. Like I don't know what that
have did. Another sip left and I'm gonna finish it, but it's I would say watered down puts it at I don't even know if that puts it at like Jim Beam level of like Jim Beam White Label.
Yeah.
Where like it's still drink. I would say it's better than Jim Beam because at least it has a flavor.
Yeah. Yeah. Highly advise against
doing that. It's not gonna be any staple brand of like that's worse than just a regular Maker's.
I do have to make a note. Last week it was acceptable because he was at a wedding.
Is this the Gary hate?
This week, once again, Gary is not here.
I think we have to. This has to be a thing now.
Yeah, well, Gary's not here.
Whether he's here or not.
I mean, it's a little absurd actually that he's not here, and it's making me very upset right now. No, I'm not actually upset, but yeah, 2 weeks in a row. Let's see if we can go for three.
Thumbs up
So
or thumbs down to buy
wow,
it secondary?
Tim's just told us to shut up and just get right to the chase. Okay, sorry to offend you.
Do you know secondary on this? What is this going for?
It was going for 360.
I'm guessing if people don't like it, it's dipping.
Yeah, it is dipping a lot. I've seen it below 3. I've seen it at 290. Um,
I think if you are a big Makers fan or like you want to follow these releases, then maybe you could go to like 200.
yeah.
But I don't think that this, at least from the first one, I'm not particularly. I mean, it is a good palette, but the finish kind of makes it for me of like I wouldn't pay any more than $200.
I wouldn't either. I wouldn't even. I really honestly wouldn't go over. I think MSRP is as high as I would go on this. Now that I've tried it, and that's unfortunately what happens is people chase these bottles for secondary, and like if I bought that at 360, 350, I'd really be disappointed right now because I just spent a lot of money on a whiskey. So it's great. I would say if you can try it in a bar or have a friend who can send you a sample, definitely the smart thing to do.
Yeah, it's always a better way to go.
Expensive bottles, before you drop the price. Gary isn't a true fan. The comments are about a minute behind what you're talking about.
Okay.
Oh, shoot. Okay, interesting. Sorry for being so behind. Thanks for telling us about
I think he's just saying, right, there's a delay between when we're talking and they comment.
Okay.
So when you see a comment come up, they're talking about something we said a minute ago.
Oh, that makes things difficult.
We've sometimes moved on.
Wow, why does YouTube do that? That's a little annoying. YouTube. Who's the owner of YouTube? Jeff Bezos? You need to fix that.
It was somebody like a Susan somebody, but it changed.
Susan Wells?
That's sure, yeah.
Susan Wells.
That's amazing that you were able to guess that.
She's from Elf, I think. While we're on the Makers topic, I also found this last week. This was pretty cool. Slam dunks are always fun to find. I don't know. They're exciting. Well, you have to buy them. At least I do. I can't not buy them.
I'm not as big into it. I don't really see the. I mean, it's cool to see, but I don't need to own it. Like I don't.
Ask Tim. Tim's the hype monster. Tim, if you walked in a Wine and Spirits and you saw this sitting there, would you buy it or would you leave it?
See, that's from us talking about the comments being old, I think.
Yeah. Yeah.
Slam dunk. There he is.
All right, here we go.
Excited.
Tim, would you buy this? Come on, I know you would. I know Tim would buy this. He's like, hell yeah, I would buy that. You just have to. I don't know. It's nothing special about the whiskey. I mean, it's cash strength Maker's Mark. Open and compare it to the 2024. Well, he wants us to open a cash strength.
It could be arranged.
It could be arranged. How are we on our time? That's the question.
40 minutes?
Yeah. I mean, I say we have time if
You can go for it.
Yeah, if you want.
If you want, it has opened up the nose a little bit. You'd like, I'm getting like a nice
your
brown
glass
sugar.
is so warm.
Thank you. I get like a nice brown sugar on that.
There is a nice brown sugar on that. Very good note, Frank. I do concur. Tim said, is that even a question? Of course he'd buy it. He has to, right? Look at this. We came prepared for this one, Tim. We knew you were going to ask this question. I'm going to rinse. I didn't do you the pleasure of finishing that for you.
I didn't. The pleasure will be mine.
Yes.
Yeah, I happen to have a cash strength, and given that we were talking about age versus proof so recently, I thought it would be interesting, but this is actually going to be the lowest proof. The cash strength is only 109.6.
Oh, wow. I don't know what that one is.
And I would assume that it's not a 13-year-old.
Yeah, I know.
But he is pretty low.
Yep.
Close to a kill.
So let's get Mr. Cellar Age. Thank you very much for joining in. Final consensus on this, by the way. I do like the 2023 better. However, this is still very good. I know a lot of people are really shitting on this I actually kind of enjoyed it. I thought it was nice.
I thought it was nice. I think it's also if you get it and you did pay that $300 premium, and that's what you get, it's a bit disappointing. I think it even at the 175, it's a little that's probably a little overpriced. Like realistically speaking, I think like I'm not. I get because it's age, it's a limited release. There's a lot of you're paying for the name, you're paying for the age, but I think it's probably a little high. Right? You're looking at me like you want to say something.
Tim said it's like he knew the script. Should we let the cat out of the bag? Let's do it. All right, Tim, come on over here and get on camera. Oh, wait a minute. You never came. Okay. Never mind. The script has been debunked. I just love how like it's
I was like, what are you even?
It's like go after Tim and Gary the whole time. It's funny, but it's good. This is also these cast strengths. They used to be screw tops. Then they just recently put corks in them. Thank you, Maker's Mark, for doing that. Now we just need to do that with like Weller 12 year.
I mean, I was thinking about it when I was grabbing it to bring over, and I mean, a Maker's cast strength is a pretty solid pick.
Yeah.
From that's probably going to be at the liquor store when you're there. You know, in terms of stuff that isn't allocated. I was like I was thinking like if I kill this, I might have to go. I might have to replace it because I mean it's the classic Makers, but turning up to 11 on the flavors. I think probably if I replace this, I want to go for a 46 cash strength.
Tim said, talk to my agent. Well, excuse me, Mr. Man. Look, this is just interesting. This is, I happen to have, because I am that person. I have 2 slam dunks, because you can't say no. But I just thought it was funny, look. 109.5, 109.6.
Oh, yeah.
They're 2 different batches, and they're like 0.1% off each other, right? Yeah, now I gotta crack it, yeah.
We'll see here. That might be a bottle kill for this guy.
Yeah, I think he might be going. We'll see.
If not during the video, then after.
Yes, yes. There is an after party. I enjoy the Maker's Cast Strength Bill recipe.
Yeah, the Whiskey Bible after party is in the hot tub.
Yeah. That sounded scary.
What? I mean, that's where parties happen, in the hot tub.
Right?
If hot tub guy is still here, do you feel like you're having a party right now?
Mm-hmm.
I bet you do.
Yes, let's see.
He is dead. I was so tempted to just throw this.
That would break.
It would.
You know, that's when you threw it on my chair and forgot my cat was there.
Man.
Yeah. My live audience is a cat, and he's watching us very, very.
I think he's waiting for us to finish to try and beg for more snackos.
Yeah, that's what he wants. He's smart though. At least he lets us.
He's been very good.
He has been. Thank you, Thunderbolt. Thunderbolt shares the same birthday as me, just not the same year. He's a Himalayan. Definitely younger on the nose. You can definitely smell there's like, I don't know, more corn, I guess. Has that cornier note?
I mean, for me, it's like a classic wheated bourbon.
Classic Maker's Mark, right?
Yeah.
It has that Maker's Mark nose, unlike that last Cellar age.
Yeah, this is much. It's not as good on the nose as the Cellar age, but it's much closer to that 23.
Well,
yeah,
cheers. We can finish off this video with this. I don't think we have to finish this pour for the video, but Tim wanted us to do it, and
we
just happened to have it. He just wanted to see me rip off my slam dunk. Little did he know, I was prepared for him. Yeah, the cast strengths are good. do have a 46 cast strength somewhere. I'm not even going to try digging for it. It's somewhere behind me.
Yeah, the 40. I mean, cash strength or regular the 46. I really they're doing something with that.
You, you know what's funny though with me is I'm on the weird side of things. I actually am not a fan of 46.
Huh.
I don't like the Maker's 46. I it just has this really off note to me. I like their regular, just their bourbon.
I just think that it's a little more vanilla and a little less oak. Um, the cash strengths are not as easy to tell apart. For me, Maker's 46 versus the regular standard Makers is a pretty big difference.
Yeah.
The cash strength not as big of a deal, but I think there's a slight difference. But this is for me. I bought I bought that thing forever ago, so I don't know what they go for now. But it can't be more than 60, right? Uh,
I can
you
actually, I can look it
you
up
want to
real
look it
quick.
up?
Yeah, might as
But I
well.
feel like that's for me a maker's cash strength is like I know I'm gonna get a nice whiskey, and add a proof that is pretty decent. Like this is sweet and it was smooth and it's not gonna kill you. 45.
Yeah.
See, I was being conservative, but I didn't think it would still be under 50, to be completely honest.
Yeah, $45. I mean, that's a great price for that in
Yeah.
today's market. Oh God,
Don't you hate that?
I hate that. And look, it just here we go. I'm just tempted to see. I'm interested to see what the Maker's 46 cash strength cost is. Yeah, there you go. That's 60.
Yeah, okay, that's probably what I was thinking of.
Yeah. Wine and Spirits has been known to be behind, so there is a chance that they're just not caught up to the market yet, which is good for some things, right?
Yeah.
But then all of a sudden you'll wake up one morning and it'll be $20 more. That's what happened to the Larceny Barrel Proof. It used to be $50, and then you woke up one morning it was like
Yeah.
65. It's like what happened? Like why didn't I buy it all before? Um,
Yeah,
yeah,
I mean it's what you would expect because it's so close to the same proof, and it's just, like we said, we don't know for sure if Cellar Age is the same mash as everything else. Makers, I feel like, is mostly focused on the aging, right? That's the whole stave program. That seems to be their thing,
yeah.
and moving barrels and all that. It seems like they're pretty confident in their mash bill, and have settled on trying some different aging techniques.
Yeah, they like to age to taste, not the proof. One bottle that's interesting, which we could talk about at a later recipe, later episode, is Maker's Mark the Lost Recipe.
Hmm.
So they used to have a stave called Mocha Stave, and it was so popular and so good that people, when they would do their private selections, you pick the staves,
Right, and everybody's choosing that
they
one.
would
Yeah.
pick 10 all Mocha staves, and all their other staves would just go bad. They couldn't use them anymore. So they were actually losing millions of dollars on this wood. So they did the unthinkable. They actually took someone's favorite, the best stave they had, and they discontinued it.
Wow.
They discontinued the stave. They got rid of it. The best one they had, the most popular, they got rid of it because they were losing so much money. They actually brought that back this year, and it's called Maker's Mark the Lost Recipe.
You would think, oh wow, everybody hates all these other staves and they love this one. Why not discontinue all the ones that they're not choosing? Stop buying.
Why not just turn it into an actual brand, like Maker's Mocha 46,
Yeah.
or something like that? Like take that out of the private select and just put it in as a regular bottle offering. Like I know this is a limited release, but if they had that on the shelves all the time, people would still do private selects,
Yeah.
That wouldn't stop. Good idea. Patent that. Big C with the circle. You can't do that now, Maker's Mark. Talk to our lawyers. But yeah, I'm about good there. I think out of the ranking tonight, I would put Maker's Mark Cellar Age 23, this year's Cellar Age, and then this at the end, just because.
Yeah.
I mean, this is good, but
Yeah, I do think that the 24, while that finish is a little weird, it was a really nice palate, and I mean even sweeter and with more flavor than this. So I don't think it quite measures up to 175, but like I said, it's a neck pour, and you could see, and it's a new flavor, so over time it could grow on you.
Tim just threw in a comment. You didn't know about this. I think I forgot to tell you. He said, I heard it didn't catch up to the Russell's Reserve 15 year being $50. There was a major, major fuck up from Wine and Spirits. They actually inventoried all the Russell's Reserve 15 year, $250 bottle as Russell Reserve single barrel.
Oh
So
man!
Tim went out and he went to the drop and he got two Russell's Reserve 15 years for $50 each.
Wow!
Instead of $250 each.
Yeah.
That's crazy, right? He's probably like, no, shut up, don't tell anybody, right? Now they know. Now they know it was you who bought it. So Mr. Fine Wine and Good Spirits is
I
watching
mean,
this
what can
right
they? That's on them.
now. Right? It's their fault.
You can't get angry
so
at
funny.
somebody go in and buy the right if you.
I was messing with him all day. I was like, did you see what's happening? Everybody happening, they're putting like hold requests on their cards and they're no longer able to shop at Wine and Spirits. Like, oh man, I gotta go back. It was funny. But yeah, that was a good score for him. I was sitting in the office working. But yeah, that's about that. Not trying to get into Russell's Reserve right now. We'll do that at a later date. I think he's going to donate a bottle to us to crack.
Oh wow!
So that should be interesting. And he's giving us an E.H. Taylor. He can't get out of that. And he's giving us that bottle to crack. Whiskey Karma paid me a visit though. Yes, one of his Russell Reserve 15 years has a giant crack and chip in the bottom of it. So I don't know if it's leaking, but hopefully it doesn't have glass in his whiskey, right? You drink it now, you got glass in your stomach, then you get a $50,000 hospital bill. There you go. I hope that doesn't happen to you. But I'll tell you, that happened to me at Wild Wings at one time. Remember I was drinking that beer?
Yeah.
And the glass above the beer actually broke into the glass, and when I took a sip, I got all glass in my mouth. I could feel it on my mouth, and I spit it all out on the table. We didn't have to pay for our food that day. So that was good. I didn't swallow any glass. We're mumbling. We're babbling.
Yeah, I think. What do you think? I think we're good to call it there.
Yeah, we're good to call it there. I think
2024 Cellar aged is okay.
There it is.
It's decent, but you definitely don't want to go paying the secondary prices. 2023 we really like and enjoy. And even the 2024 wasn't quite to our taste. I think I'm still excited to see what happens in 2025.
Yeah, see where they go. They did say in this pamphlet that they're going to do something different every year, so
yeah,
it'll be interesting to see. With that being said, I think that's about it.
Yeah.
I'm Luke.
I'm Frank.
This is Whiskey Bible, the live podcast episodes. Thanks for joining in once again. Cheers. Now, we sit here. We talk our final thoughts. Goodbye. So long.